Hey everyone, a lot of people's been asking, so I wanted to do a video and kind of preview what equipment that I'm using to film my hunts this year. There is several ways you can actually do this, but I recommend if you're first starting out, do it as inexpensive as possible, because it does bring another element into hunting, but it may be something that if you get into after seeing what goes into self-filming or filming in general, it can be very frustrating. You can get to the place where you actually end up passing on animals because they wasn't in focus, things of that nature. So it can be frustrating, but it's very rewarding when it all clicks. So I want to go through a few things that I'm using this year to film hunts. Some things that you need, especially if you're self-filming, is a tree arm. And this is a very cheap Gorilla tree arm that you could probably get under 30 bucks, 40 bucks. I bought this a long time ago. This is my first year actually doing a YouTube channel and trying to document my hunts. I think it brings a new element into hunting. I've been hunting since I was 7-8 years old, and so sometimes you got to bring in some new excitement, which I love deer hunting. But this is just a nice steady tree arm. Now you don't have many options as far as leveling, so you need to kind of pick out trees that are very kind of symmetrical, and that's where it comes into play. Muddy has a great camera. They've got just a entry, and then they've got several outfitter style camera arms. This is a Gorilla camera arm that anybody can pretty much afford. You can find them used on Marketplace, and that's what I recommend doing, going on Marketplace and trying to find all your gear, because everything I'm going to show you today, I probably have maybe $1,200–1,300 in it. So, and I'm filming pretty professional like. So first you want to definitely get you a tree arm. And you say, well, why is the first thing you want to do is get an arm of some sort? Is because I've got something in my pocket that most everybody has, and that is a cell phone. Whether you use Android, Samsung, it doesn't matter. Most cameras nowadays, camera phones, they can film in very, very, very high quality. So with that being said, they make a mount that is less than $10 that you could actually mount to this, or you can get one of these camera arms. Basically, this here could serve as a camera arm, and you need one of these in the tree to hang your bow, hang your gun. So this is an easy hanger that you can buy for around $30, and you can mount on the end. Muddy makes an attachment that just mounts here that you can put your phone up and mount it to it, and you can do all your interviews. You could take it off and film your B-roll stuff. You can do on the way to the hunt. Of course, if you're not driving, you can set your phone up and do other B-roll stuff as you getting ready and things of that nature. And you can put it all together, and there's an app that I use. It's Filmmaker Pro. I pay $5 and something per month for all the videos that I do, and you can edit, add music in there, and you can make it look darn good, and people wouldn't even realize that you didn't actually have a professional camera. So you can get into the sport of self-filming for really, if you already have your phone, of course, for under $100. Now you are going to be limited with shots, things of that nature, but you can film a lot with just a phone. So I want to go through the list of things that I'm using this year. Of course, I've got this camera, and I'm going to do some video and show you what I've got back there. But I've got the Gorilla camera arm, and I've got an easy hanger. Now what I'll do is, once I get set up, my stand will probably be down here where my feet are. I like to kind of put the camera arm at my waist, because I like to stand and shoot. Even a lot of times, even with the rifle, I have a stick and I like to just kind of stand and shoot. But especially with a bow, you want to be able to have the camera here so that when you stand up and you're ready, you can kind of get it in position to wherever the deer is going to walk, and you can kind of look over before you draw. So you got to kind of keep all that in mind. Now this camera arm extends out, but I usually like to keep it pretty tight up against the tree, and I usually like to have this in the center of my back. And I know that's kind of awkward, but if you position your stand right, it really doesn't bother you, because I do like to stand a lot when I'm hunting, But that way, that if the deer come on this side of the tree, I'm able to bring it around and reposition. So just keep all that in mind, because when it happens, and usually it happens very quickly, you want to be able to be very mobile and get on the game. And with that being said, if it's a trophy buck and you don't get everything on camera, still makes for a good show, a good video to show some B-roll, an after shot interview, and then show the kill. So don't be stressed about not capturing everything, especially if you're in the stand solo. Sometimes my brother-in-law films for me, and we won't use this camera on. He'll go more freestyle, and he uses this to kind of hold his arm, and it's way better if you have a cameraman, but not everybody has that privilege of having a cameraman. So I'll have this usually to my right hand side, because that just gives me and I usually position this the way, you know, I think the deer is going to come. So with that being said, I'll have this positioned usually right in this area, usually about 2 or 3 foot up above. And I love to, you know, I can hang calls here, hang my bow here, and I'll kind of get in here close to kind of show you guys. It's just a 3 swing easy hanger. Now you can get a 2. I love Smallrig. This Smallrig right here, I don't know if you can see that. This clamp is under 10 bucks on eBay, and I'll put all the links to everything that I have in the video. But this is amazing. It'll clamp on anything. This would even clamp onto a stabilizer, and it just clamps in here, and it's got so many ranges of motion. And if you get it high, you can see how this will just swivel around, and it'll tighten up really nice. It's not cheap. It's all metal in here. And then you've got, of course, and I'm using 2 GoPros. This is a GoPro 7 Silver, which is really nice. Got them linked up to my phone. And then I've got on my bow, which I'll show you here in a minute, to catch, just in case something was to happen, you know, I'm catching the footage on my stabilizer, and it's a GoPro Hero 7 Black. So with that being said, I've got this above to catch. And why do I have this above me? A lot of times when you're filming, you know, you want to see the drawback and the first reaction. A lot of times you've got the camera zoomed in. I can just leave that rolling and just kind of look back up to this, and it catches my real reaction. I just love seeing hunters' real reaction to the excitement of the hunt. I'm trying to do what I do to promote this great sport, because I feel like sometimes it gets a bad connotation and it's dying, and we want to show people that this is a great sport to get into, and just the adrenaline rush that it gives you. A lot of people miss out on that in their lives, so I want them to see my real reaction of the excitement that I get. And this is what this covers. Post interviews, you know, even if I'm talking to my cameraman saying, hey, you know, we're big buck, and you know, he's trying to film on that. This is just a great camera to capture a lot of footage, and I use a lot of this in my B-roll. So this captures a lot of footage, and I'd highly recommend having that. So with that being said, you can either put your phone or do like I did, Smallrig. Look them up, Smallrig. Great products. With that being said, here's my bow. I shoot Elite Energy 35, which I love, by the way. I've got it decked out at CBE sights. Got the QDA rest, and I've got some bee stingers. But on the front here, mainly what I want to talk about is just a simple clamp. It's a bicycle clamp, but it'll go perfectly on your stabilizer. You can roll this back when you're in transport, and it kind of gets out of the way. But with that being said, you just reach up, turn that on, and that's going to capture any of the footage that was missed. And a lot of times, and I shoot illuminated nocturnal nocks, when the bow goes off, you can kind of see that trace in, and that's a really neat shot. Mainly for if something was to happen to your main camera and not catch the actual shot. If it's in there within 20-30 yards, this is going to do a really good job. It's a wide angle. It's going to catch a lot of the footage. So I highly recommend. And a lot of people are using cams now, cameras that are connected to Tacticams. Those are great as well. Some people put things on their head. So however you want to capture that footage, do so. But this works for me. This works for me. So that's what I use basically. Okay, so here's my camera. This is a Rebel T5i. It's a great camera. This is my 18 to 55 lens, works really good. This is a Rode mic with a wind muffler on there. I highly recommend this because, you know, when you're hunting in the hunting conditions that you're in, you never can anticipate the wind, and without that, your audio just, it's awful. So with this camera, I've got a Smallrig attachment on the top that holds my Rode mic. This lens or the viewfinder there, it works good. You know, of course you can view through this, but I always like to use the LCD screen. This is a touch screen. It goes back and forth, up and down. So if you're filming like I was a while ago, you know, I had that. I could see myself. And then, you know, it swivels back and forth, and you can actually lock it in the lock position and use it, and you can kind of see what you're doing. So there's my setup. I actually got the other large grip on the bottom. This allows me to hold 2 batteries in the camera. So with that being said, it just allows you to be able to, I'll just pull this out real quick. So, you know, of course I've got 2 batteries in there, and I always just recommend you always keep extra batteries, because when it's cold out, the batteries kind of drain quicker. And I've been right in the middle of a hunt and battery die, you know, and it just kind of sucks to not be prepared. So, but this is my big setup. Works really good. You could probably purchase this camera probably for well under $500 on eBay or Marketplace. So like I said before, get on Marketplace and check out some of the stuff on there that other people took the big hits on. It's just going to save you money in the long run. So I hope this video helps you. If you do, like it, subscribe, hit that like button, comment with any questions. We'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. I'll put the links in the video below so that you guys can kind of reference some things that I'm using and things you may want to tweak and upgrade, maybe give you some ideas of what you want to do for this year or the upcoming season getting ready. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for subscribing and liking, and we'll see you next time.